Всем привет, друзья! Мы продолжаем играть в Kingdom Come Deliverance, первую часть. И, как вы помните, в прошлой серии мы поймали одного, не знаю, как сказать, мужик, скорее старик. У меня опять подгрузка идет, карта какая-то ебанистическая. Мы его поймали и поняли, что нам нужно обратно в Ротае отдать бумаги Ульриха, Тобиашу, Фефару. Как раз таки вот этот мужик, которого мы поймали, был Ульрихом. Вот. Есть, конечно, задание около скалицы, но я не знаю. О. Йоханку, точно. Ну вот, что я имел в виду под скалицей. Погнали, что ли? Начнем здесь задание выполнять. Я их долго откладывал, кстати. Потому что всегда думал, что мне нужно будет сюда идти по другому заданию со своими друзьями.
Looks like they smashed things up nicely.
What's going on there? Well, now. Hey. What's up? Shit yourself. You. Answer to my prayer. Just when I wanted to vent my rage on something.
А чё без щита?
Мерка. What's the...
А где третий? Он сзади стоит или он убежал? Он сзади бьет меня, сука.
Way off. Go ahead and gather your strength. You'll need it.
Короче, не буду полностью лутать, потому что деньги у меня есть, продавать я ничего больше не хочу бегать. Ну, я что, блядь, совсем ебанутый. Можно брать самое дорогое просто и все, но... Не знаю, мне лень. Просто лень. Ну, вон, чашу можно взять. Все, хватит. Зелье вон. Ну, то есть так, по мелочи подбирать что-то. Получается, я построил полностью. Она мне сейчас будет приносить стабильный доход. Как бы денег будет и так много.
This is in surprisingly good condition.
Понятно.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that?
Тут разве враги?
Who's there? You're in the wrong
Да.
place at the wrong time.
Мне надо покачать стрельбу. Наборы эти возьму, буду сам все чинить. Прокачивать тоже. Надо уже навык этот. Подожди, это же те люди, на которые... Вот, да, мастер не мой. А зачем один из них на меня напал? Бля, я вообще понять не могу. А, так это был разбойник. А хули он с ними делал? Мне надо вниз сюда пройти. Под землю. А вот откуда пройти сюда, я хуй знает. Тут я буду, наверное, падать очень долго.
A good day to you.
What are you doing here?
What's it to you?
I mean, no offense. Just asking.
What do you think we're doing here? Hiding and waiting until someone comes back to Skalitz.
And why don't you head off to Sasau or Talmberg?
Do you think none of us have tried it? Nobody ever came back. So here we sit and wait. Good luck to you.
Понятно.
Yeah. Yeah.
Я не совсем понимаю, где вход во все это чудо.
Yeah. Yeah.
Но я нажимаю смотреть, ничего не происходит. Заебись. Не бой с самого начала, блядь. Ну да. Ладно, мне нет желания опять то же самое делать. Потом сюда вернусь. Когда-нибудь, как-нибудь. Ну вот как выглядят входы в шахту. Но я там рядом, блядь, не увидел ни одного входа. Поэтому я начал заниматься хуйней. Йоханка, скорее всего, сейчас будет выпендриваться по типу: чё ты не прошел весь путь, как я говорила, блядь. Тыры-пыры, растопыры.
There's nothing to see here. On your way.
Да ты охуел.
Where's Yochanka?
She's locked up at the rat house. Orders of the bishop.
Locked up? For what?
For heretical speeches. Run along now. If you want to chat about it, go and talk to that monk who smells like an apothecary shop. He's in a flap about it too. Good luck to you.
What happened to Yochanka?
Nothing good, I'm sorry to say. She was locked up by the papal inquisitor Bishop Yaroslav of Benishov. It seems he somehow caught wind of this preaching of hers. He's accused her of spreading heresy and had her placed under arrest.
Well, we must do something.
Well, you can try talking to Bishop Yaroslav. He can tell you more. As a servant of the royal hetman, your name ought to carry some weight with him. But watch your step. This matter is entirely in the hands of church law, so you mustn't overestimate your lay authority here.
Right. I'll go and see this Bishop Yaroslav of Benishov.
May God go with you. And thank you, Henry. I'm glad you're standing up for Yochanka. If you need anything, do come and see me.
What actually happened here?
Yochanka told me you went to Auschwitz.
Yeah? What's that got to do with anything?
The Inquisitor showed up here not long after you left. Apparently he heard about Yochanka's preaching somehow. He even observed one of her sermons outside the town in disguise. He had her brought to him and spent a long time trying to discourage her from what she was doing. But then she went out again to preach about her visions outside of town. But before she even started, the Inquisitor turned up with Fabian and the guards. He said Yochanka had ignored his outright ban, and he had her taken away. Then he warned the people there that Yochanka was spreading heresy and undermining the church's authority, and forbade them to listen to her.
That's all? Didn't you speak to the Inquisitor?
No, actually I didn't. He saw me there listening to her preaching, and I was afraid to come forward and talk to him.
Aha. Well, that's understandable.
Thanks.
It sounds pretty serious.
It is. I'm afraid it could be very serious indeed.
Where can I find this Inquisitor?
He's staying here in the monastery grounds. His quarters are on the upper floor.
What exactly does an Inquisitor do?
The Inquisition is a papal institution that deals with heresy, so people don't succumb to charlatans, false prophets and deceptions, and put their faith and their immortal souls in jeopardy. The Inquisitors have all sorts of powers, the kind we here can do very little to stand up to.
And what can he do to Yochanka?
I'm not entirely sure. These legal issues are very complicated, but he could certainly excommunicate her, and maybe even sentence her to death.
Who is this Bishop Yaroslav?
I've never heard of him before, but the prior has. He said he's very well learned and the Bishop of Sarepta.
Sarepta? Where's that, Moravia?
No, it's far, far away, near the Holy Land. He got the title from the Holy Father himself.
Titular bishop? Like he's not a real one?
It's, let's say, an honorary title. It refers to a diocese that no longer exists. And since a titular bishop has no diocese to oversee, he can devote himself to handling other very important church affairs, like ordaining other prelates, for example, to maintain succession through the centuries down from the time of Christ and his apostles.
And this bishop came all the way here from whatever?
Sarepta, but I doubt he's ever been there. It used to be a bishopric in the days of the Apostolic Fathers in Phoenicia, near Israel, but it was ransacked by the Muslims. Now it's just a titular bishopric, and Yaroslav is the titular bishop.
Do you believe Yochanka is really being visited by the Virgin Mary?
Well, yes, Henry, I do. The things she says and the way she speaks. She doesn't sound like herself at all. I know she can't read, so where else could she have got it? Frankly, I can't think of any other explanation within the bounds of this world. Take care.
Ничего себе поворот, конечно, я этого не ожидал. Но будь моя воля, я бы всю эту инквизицию решал бы на. Ладно, спокойствие.
Sir, I am...
Henry of Scarlet, from the garrison of the Royal Hetman, Sir Radzig Kobyla. I've heard a lot about you, my son. I'm pleased to meet you.
Bishop Yaroslav? Sir? My lord, to what do I owe your interest in my humble self?
I was told you survived the massacre in Scarlet and warned the Talmberg garrison. You tracked down the raiders of a stud farm in Neuhof, wasn't it? to their hideout in the woods. And then you led Sir Radzig and his armed company there and joined bravely in the skirmish, and even killed their notorious leader by your own hand. And I believe you have many other deeds to your name. That's quite remarkable, considering your age, is it not?
I had some unsettled accounts to deal with. And I still do.
Mm-hmm. You're clearly not lacking in determination. A word of caution, though. Fervor can easily lead to recklessness. Nevertheless, I assume you came on account of Yochanka.
Yes.
Then tell me what's on your mind.
Why did you have her imprisoned?
Because she broke the promise she made to me and persisted in actions that bear the signs of heresy.
How did you find out about Yochanka?
Word came to me of what was happening here. That some young girl was claiming to speak for the Blessed Virgin. I traveled here immediately, as my duty demanded, and observed events in Sasau incognito, in order to examine the matter at first hand.
I see. And what will happen to Yochanka now?
I must weigh the gravity of her transgressions and investigate these alleged visions of hers. I consider it very improbable that she is indeed being visited by the Blessed Virgin. Nevertheless, I cannot at this time rule it out entirely.
So you decide just like that? But you don't even know Yochanka.
I certainly do not decide just like that. I'm thoroughly examining the entire matter, and you would be well advised not to question my authority. I will call Yochanka and the witnesses, question them, and then pronounce a verdict.
And will there be anyone there to defend Yochanka?
Do you doubt my judgment?
I would never be so bold, sir. But surely it would be only just that someone should speak for Yochanka about all her good deeds and so forth?
Naturally, I will also question those who would speak in her defense. Since you are interceding, I expect you have someone in mind?
Yes. Actually, me.
As I surmised. But this matter does not directly concern you. Why should I allow you to appear before the court?
Yochanka is my neighbor, and I have a Christian duty to come to her aid. I can't just stand by and do nothing.
I have to concur with you on that. Your concern seems sincere, so I will grant your request. Very well. You will defend Yochanka. You may speak in her defense if you so wish, and you may also bring witnesses. I will question any such witnesses, and naturally I shall question Yochanka too.
Thank you, Monsignor. In that case, I'll need to speak to Yochanka first.
That won't be possible. It's forbidden by the Inquisition procedure. Until the entire matter is resolved, Yochanka can speak only to me and no one else. I would like to expedite the matter. The trial will take place in Sasau Church in 3 days' time at the latest. Come and let me know when you're ready to proceed. In the meantime, I will continue my investigation.
Very well, Monsignor. I had better get on with it then, sir. Farewell.
Before you go, you know Yochanka longer than anyone else. You spent a lot of time with her, as I've discovered. Tell me, my son, truthfully, what do you think of this whole affair?
Yochanka helped a lot of people. She worked her fingers to the bone helping Brother Nicodemus with the sick and injured.
That is certainly commendable. What else can you tell me about her?
About the Virgin Mary? I believe the Virgin does visit her. Yochanka is honest. She wouldn't lie about such a thing. And the things she says sound truthful and compelling. It really does seem like a heavenly revelation. Who else could it be from? But the Virgin Mary.
The origin of these so-called visions of hers must be investigated. But thank you for your candor. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Да, бля, я бы, не поддерживал бы ее в этом, если бы, не знаю, если бы мы не жили в одной... Если бы мы не были связаны одной будто скалицей.
She's worried about Matthias. He's from Skalitz too, and she's very fond of him. But he was wounded in a raid on Merhojed recently, and since then he's been lying in a fever. Johanka believes that if she does what the Blessed Virgin wants of her, Matthias might be healed.
Interesting. Anything else?
Well, before, in Skalitz, Johanka was sort of, well, just a simple village girl. I never imagined I'd hear her talking the way she does now. She's completely transformed.
A simple village girl. I see. Do continue.
Johanka is an honest girl and virtuous. She's a good Christian who attends church and thinks of others.
Good. Please continue.
Ну, эти два пункта, я не знаю, их же, естественно, не стоит говорить.
That's about all I can tell you.
Is that really everything?
Бля, зачем мне такое спрашивать?
I have nothing more to add, Monsignor.
Very well. Thank you, my son.
Слава
One
богу,
more
пронесло.
thing before you go.
Да, бля.
Let me remind you that it's your Christian duty to report anything suspicious going on concerning the church and the true faith, if you're aware of anything of the sort in these parts. If you prove yourself a commendable servant of the church, I would also take that into account in judging Johanka's case.
All right, Monsignor. I'll bear that in mind.
May the Lord watch over you.
Monsignor, Johanka is just a simple village girl from Skalitz. Are all these legal proceedings really necessary?
They are. The mission of the Inquisition is quite unequivocal, and however trivial, this matter has a broader significance.
What broader significance?
No offense, but these things can't easily be explained to an uneducated boy
Да ты
like you.
охуел.
Still, I'm pleased that you take an interest. Unfortunately, I don't have time for this now. If you really want to know more, ask my assistant. After all, it is also our duty to guide others through the labyrinth of this world.
Monsignor, I've heard of various irregularities in the province that might be of interest to you.
Very good, my son. A good Christian certainly shouldn't conceal such things. Please, speak.
There are interesting things going on inside the monastery.
In the monastery? What kind of things?
Oh, various things that people are talking about. There's a lot of talk about the construction of the new church and how much it must be costing. But actually, nothing that would interest you, really. I won't waste your time with it.
As you wish.
A demon's skull was found on the church building site.
Yes, I heard something about it. A disturbing report. Tell me what you know about it.
It was a deception, sir. Someone made it with evil intentions, to frighten people. I found the skull and brought it to the local knacker. He confirmed it was a human skull with animal horns stuck on.
You did the right thing, Henry, in uncovering the deception and in telling me about it.
Ну, вальденцев я спас же. Короче, не
That's
знаю.
all,
All right, Henry.
But what's so bad about what Yochanka has been saying?
Look here. It's simply unacceptable that anyone at all should come along and stand up in the market square and preach about God's will or how he or she interprets it. God gave us his teachings, which we must honor, and he showed us how to fulfill them. It is only those teachings that lead us on the path to salvation and God's grace. But understanding those teachings is no simple matter. It demands learning, time, and effort. That is one of the tasks of Holy Mother Church. What Yochanka has been saying is dangerously close to heresy. She must be brought to see the error of her ways, and her disruptive actions must cease.
But Johanka hasn't done anything against God. On the contrary, she's devout, and she's trying to redeem sinners.
Perhaps, but she's also incited disobedience to the nobles, and that is a serious accusation. Think of it like this. You have to pass through a dark forest filled with hazards. Many paths lead to that forest, but only one will lead you safely through it. You know which is the right path, but others don't. Would you show them the right path, or leave each to choose his own and very likely lose his way?
I'd show them the right path, but it would be up to them whether to take it or not.
But then many would lose their way and die. Because of you.
Это и на их
Concerns
совести.
God's mercy and grace. We cannot allow that to happen. You must understand that it is the mission of the church to care for the
Ну,
soul of
Юнг
every
морозил,
person.
блядь.
It is our sacred duty to lead the people to salvation.
How does the church know which is the right path?
Watch how you speak, Henry, and how you consider such matters. God is the fountain of truth, and he is represented on earth by his holy church and none other. The church was built on the foundations of Christ's apostles, who passed on his wisdom to others, as they passed on the task of leading people to the love of God and thereby to salvation. Do you think the church would now want to lead the people to damnation? That we would consciously corrupt the task that the Son of God passed on to us? We would be condemning not only the people, but ourselves too. It would extinguish the very sense of our existence.
Everyone gets the gift of reason from God, don't they? So they should use it. The priests are only looking out for themselves, taking advantage of people, and they've forgotten about Christ. I don't need the church to tell me how to love God.
Well then, my suspicions are confirmed. Yochanka has succumbed to the deceit of Lucifer, and her
Бля.
heresy has clouded the minds of others. You are living proof of that. What you are saying is exactly Lucifer's design, to break down the fortifications of Holy Mother Church, so no one is left to guard people's souls against his seduction. But you won't succeed here, Archdemon. You will be stopped. Guards, take this heretic. I'll deal with him shortly. God be with you.
Fuck! A murderer! He'll kill us all!
Fuck! He's just killed someone!
But what?
What?
But you.
Perhaps, but you know which is the right. Would you show them the right path?
I'd lead them.
Of course. And surely you understand that the whole. And it is our duty to ensure that every.
But that's just what Johanka was doing.
And what makes you so convinced?
The Virgin Mary.
We only have her word for that. And even if her visions were real, she was.
So you think she should have spoken to the parish priest about it?
Exactly. And the priest would have sent for someone who would look into the matter. Like me, for instance. In short, it's not for her to interpret such things in her own way. If people believed her and started thinking what they want about it, soon everyone would be adrift in confusion, and the true message would be lost.
Aha. I think I understand.
I'm glad you do, my son.
Я не знаю, я с ним разговариваю, и ощущение, что разговариваю просто, ну, с чокнутым фанатиком. Все. Больше никакие впечатления у меня об этом всем не складываются абсолютно. Нашли за что ухватиться, нашли чем людям мозги пудрить, нашли как это использовать, и все, и пизду. Половина мира зомбированные ходят.
Why did you have your...
I talked to her for a long time about the... I warned her that she had to stop preaching in public. And I told her if she had any further... Yоханка chose to ignore my warning. Obviously, I couldn't turn up...
There are... Some women in Uzhitz went to the... Then they went to the woods, smeared this ointment on themselves, and engaged in all sorts of incantations and spells.
What? Witchcraft? God have mercy. They must be brought to justice. Who is this herbalist they visited?
I don't know, unfortunately.
That's a pity. Thank you for telling me. Once I've finished with Йоханка...
Ну, а давайте для интереса на другой
There
потыкаем.
were Valdensians hiding in Uzhitz.
Really? And how did you find out about it?
Sir Hanush sent me to help the vicar track them down and catch them.
So, Sir Hanush had an interest in finding them?
Yes, that's right.
I'm pleased to hear it. It's not always possible to see eye to eye with secular lords in such matters. And how did it end up with the members of the sect?
They fled. The vicar is still trying to track them down.
That's unfortunate. Let's hope the vicar succeeds promptly in his mission.
Well, the parish priest in Uzhitz is rather unorthodox. Not that he's a bad person, not at all. He takes good care of his flock, no doubt. It's just that he drinks quite a lot. In fact, he's even said mass while drunk. And, he keeps a concubine.
That distresses me. All the more so because what you describe isn't at all unique amongst the clergy.
Ага.
Thank you for telling me, Henry. Matters like this certainly must be addressed.
Вот к чему, блядь, игра ведет. Просто лизать в жопу вот этому всему.
But Йоханка was visited by...
We only have her word for that.
А, я это уже с ним.
Monsignor.
They are. And however trivial, this matter...
What broader significance?
No offense, but these things can't easily...
Да-да, необразованный.
Good luck then.
Пошел ты.
I hope I can be of some humble service.
The bishop told me this business with Йоханка has a wider context, and that you tell...
Oh, very well. Look, it's like this. The world as a whole is not... For decades, people have been perishing from a terrible sickness, the Black Death. There's an anti-pope. The people are frightened. Many of the nobles, instead of caring for the authority of many monarchs, and even the emperor, many scholars have even started to question established truths and various...
Thanks.
До свидания.
Brother Nicodemus.
You've heard something?
The Inquisitor has decided that Йоханка will be tried, but he's agreed that I can defend her.
That's really quite unusual. It must mean he hasn't come to a clear conclusion yet.
Yes. I'll get her out of it.
I'm afraid it may not be that easy. The thing is, I expect Йоханка will say the same things before the court that she's been preaching.
What are you saying?
Well, I've been thinking about what she's been saying, and it seems to me her preaching has a certain progression. Are you acquainted with the notion of the three orders of man?
Not really, no.
It's like this. It's said that everyone has their God-given place and purpose on Earth. Laboratores, oratores, and bellatores. The common folk are born to work, to reap the fruits of the earth and to obey the law. It is the purpose of the nobles to protect the people and the church against, and the church in turn has the task of caring for the spiritual welfare of all, so that they can endure their earthly trials and enter the kingdom of heaven.
But what's all that got to do with Johanka?
Well, I noticed in her first sermon she primarily addressed the concerns of the common folk, and in the second, she criticized the nobility.
Ah. So you think she might start talking about the church?
Yes, I'm afraid she might. I dread to think how that might end up. Henry, you must warn her against that. She must show humility before the Inquisitor, and the wisest course would be to admit to being wrong. She's rather stubborn, but perhaps she'll listen to you.
But the Inquisitor said no one's allowed to see her.
No one except the Inquisitor's own men. You'll just have to think something up. I'm afraid Johanka's fate is mainly in your hands now. I'm relying on you. God be with you.
О, твою мать, а. Слишком много придется разговаривать в следующей серии.
Witnesses can be summoned for Johanka's trial. So I wanted to ask you if you'd give a testimony.
I'd be glad to do it. Such testimonies could carry a lot of weight. You should try and get as many as you can. Good luck, then.
Нам, короче, за пределы выходить города не нужно будет. Ну и отлично. Ладно, на этом буду заканчивать. Продолжим в следующей серии. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь. А главное, комментируйте, чтобы я мог с вами общаться. До скорых встреч.